The Quest 3S Xbox Edition is the first limited released headset from Meta in partnership with Microsoft. But because of that, there are also 6 important things that you should know before you buy one. So let's dive right into it. Now, starting it off directly with probably the most important one, which is of course the price. Because the new Meta Quest 3S Xbox Edition will come in at a total of $399. And while this is still $100 more than the standard white Quest 3S, this price increase also comes with a lot of extras that are not included in the base version, making this a pretty good value for what you get. But that also directly gets us to number 2, and that is the hardware. Because right out of the box, you will see the headset and Touch Plus controllers, but also the newly included Xbox controller as well. However, by far the biggest improvement is that the headset unit now comes with an upgraded head strap. And this is a huge difference compared to the soft dual band design that we have on the original Quest 3 and Quest 3S. Because honestly, this old school strap can start to hurt pretty quickly, especially if you use it for longer playing sessions. And while it is possible to adjust it so that you can distribute the weight a bit more evenly over the back of your head, at the end of the day, this newer Halo strap is a very welcome addition. And on top of that, the new matte black color with these small green accents really fit that theme of Xbox perfectly. But I also appreciate the attention to detail, like the small integrated Xbox logo on the side, as well as the controllers having a small green ring around their joysticks. And that's not even mentioning that the included cables and charging brick received a color makeover too, so that it matches with the rest. So Meta definitely earned some points here when it comes to this style, and I'm happy that they didn't cut some corners wherever possible. But while the hardware from the outside might look like a pretty nice level up, on the inside though, it is still the same as the white Quest 3S. Now that means that it does rock the powerful Snapdragon XR2 Generation 2 chip, but it also has the older Fresnel lenses, which are a pretty big step backwards compared to the more advanced pancake lenses that we see on Quest 3. And while it is definitely awesome that we got a limited edition Quest 3X Xbox Edition, we don't have a Quest 3 version yet that got the same treatment. At least, not for now. But the most important and really unexpected downgrade that you might have missed is regarding the storage. Because this Xbox version is only available in 128 gigabytes. So if you normally download a lot of big games, or if you often like to record your gameplay, then this might not be enough. So keep that in mind. Oh, and don't forget that just like the normal Quest 3S, this one also doesn't have a headphone jack at all. Of course, you can still use your Bluetooth headphones here, or the speakers that are built into the head strap. But that gets us to number 3, which is the availability. Because even if you want to get this headset, you most likely will not be able to find it at your general electronics stores in town. And to make matters even worse, it is only available for the US and the UK, meaning that the rest of the world sadly cannot get this headset at all. But even if you do live in the US or UK, then you still need some big luck to get one, since most stores have sold out nearly instantly, while some other ones have only a very limited stock still available. So that makes this pretty much a collector's item in itself. And since it sells so good, I also hope it shows Meta that Quest users would love to see some more of these limited edition hardware options in the future. Which gets us to number 4, and that is the games. Because just like you come to expect from the Quest 3S, is that with it, you will have access to the entire huge Meta library of VR games. And that includes the possibility to hook up your headset to a computer and play some high-end PC VR games on Steam if you want to. So thanks to its hybrid nature, you can play games like Half-Life Alyx or Batman Arkham Shadows, and everything in between. Now also don't forget that Meta includes 3 months worth of Quest Plus for free, which can let you play some awesome VR games from an ever-growing roster without spending a single cent. But after this 3-month period ends, you sadly won't be able to play them any longer. So keep in mind that once you activate this, you have to make sure to use it to its full potential and try out as many games from their list as possible. However, the Quest 3S Xbox Edition has a nice bonus, and that is that it also includes 3 months worth of Game Pass Ultimate on top of it. And since this will now let you play so many games at once, it might be smart to activate either the Quest Plus or Game Pass Ultimate first, and not at the same time. Now keep in mind though, that this doesn't mean that you will be able to play your Xbox games in VR, like you would with any other virtual reality game. But instead, this will let you play your flat screen games on a massive screen in a virtual environment. And that is pretty damn cool. I mean, you could play something like Halo without needing an actual Xbox or TV at all. And you can also change the size of the display and background, or even the location where you're playing, to whatever you want. And that kind of gives you a lot more freedom than just being able to play it in your living room. So honestly, once you got this all set up, it can be pretty difficult to go back to the old way of playing your flat screen titles, because there is just so many other things that you can do with your headset, even besides just playing the latest releases. Oh yeah, and you can of course also choose to play your games with the included Xbox controller, so that it kind of turns your VR headset into a full-blown gaming console that is strapped to your face. But moving on to number 5, we got the next generation of hardware. Because if you're thinking to buy a Quest 3S, then you might be slightly worried that a newer version, like a Quest 4 for example, will be right around the corner the moment you got it. However, Meta has made it pretty clear that it will take a good while before they will be releasing their next version in their Quest lineup. So for the first time in years, we won't see a yearly headset release till at least the end of 2026, or maybe even later. So that means that you'll have more than enough time and support before Mark Zuckerberg will eventually pull the plug on it. Which gets us also to number 6, and that is the comparison. Now at the moment, Meta has 3 different options that you can choose from. And the first one is the cheaper Quest 3S that comes in at $299, making this the lowest cost current generation standalone VR headset on the entire market. And the second option is the new Quest 3S Xbox edition, which will cost you $399, and that is very limited in quantity. And the last option is the higher end Quest 3 for $499 that comes with some big hardware improvements like a higher resolution screen and better lenses. Now on paper though, the Xbox edition does have some great added value for the $100 increase of the basic Quest 3S. Because when you look at the upgraded head strap, the included Xbox controllers, and even 3 months worth of Game Pass Ultimate on top, then this easily piles up to be more than a good deal. But on the other hand, don't forget that you are already able to play Game Pass on your other headsets too. And if you also have a controller laying around at home somewhere, then this even further lowers the benefits. And on top of that, the slightly more expensive Quest 3 will not only have better hardware, but it also has 512 gigabytes of storage compared to 128 gigabytes. But that gets us to the final conclusion. Now the Quest 3S Xbox Edition is an awesome looking headset that packs in a bunch of cool extras into the box that definitely give you a great value for your money. However, if you already own a Quest 3S or even a Quest 3, then you probably won't need this version unless you are a real collector. But if you don't own a VR headset yet at all, and you want to use it for playing Game Pass, then it could definitely be worth it if you still manage to find one in stores in the first place. But if you're on a tight budget, then the base Quest 3S is probably still your best bet. While if you want to have the best VR experience that Meta has to offer, then the original Quest 3 is for sure the way to go. But that's not all, because if you want to see a more detailed comparison between the Meta Quest 3S and the Meta Quest 3, then click on the video that you see on screen right now to make sure you don't miss out on that. And of course, stay awesome.